Tom was a single father who lived in a small town with his young son, Ben, and their dog, Max. Tom's life was simple but full. He worked hard at the hardware store every day to support Ben, and Max was his best friend. Max was a big, friendly dog who followed Tom everywhere. The three of them had a small but happy family. Every morning, Tom woke up early. After getting Ben ready for school, Tom and Max went for a walk in the nearby park. The park was a peaceful place filled with tall trees and green grass. It was their special time. Max loved to run and sniff, and Tom enjoyed the quiet calm before the busy day. One cool, clear morning, Tom and Max took their usual path. The sun was just rising, and the air was fresh. Birds sang softly in the trees. Tom felt calm as Max trotted happily beside him. They had walked this path many times, so Tom knew every corner well. As they walked, Max suddenly stopped. He stood still and looked ahead, ears pointing forward, low growl coming from his throat. Tom stopped too and looked where Max was looking. On the ground, not far from the path, lay a woman. She was dressed in a dark uniform with a badge that glinted in the morning sun. Tom recognized the uniform as a police officer's. The woman was lying on her back, motionless. Tom's heart jumped in fear. "Hey! Are you okay?" Tom called as he rushed to her side. Max stayed close, growling softly but not moving forward. The woman's eyes fluttered open slowly. She looked weak, pale, and tired. She tried to speak, but only a faint whisper came out. Tom leaned closer to hear. "Help, please," she said softly, her voice shaking. Tom's mind raced. He didn't know what had happened to her, but it was clear she was hurt badly. He quickly reached for his phone to call for an ambulance. His hands shook slightly as he dialed 911. "Hello, this is Tom," he said. "There's a police officer here, hurt, in the park near the old oak tree. She needs help fast." The dispatcher's voice was calm but urgent. "Help is on the way, sir. Stay with her and try to keep her awake." Tom looked back at the woman. "Can you tell me what happened?" he asked gently. She tried again, but only managed a weak shake of her head. Then her eyes closed, and she looked like she was about to fall asleep. Tom felt a strong wave of worry. "Max, stay close," he said softly, petting the dog's head. Max whined quietly and sat next to Tom, as if he understood that something was wrong. Tom looked around the park, but no one else was nearby. The trees swayed in the light breeze, and the sun climbed higher in the sky. Minutes passed slowly. Tom talked to the woman, trying to keep her awake. He told her about his son Ben, about Max, about the birds and the warm sun. He hoped his voice would help her hold on until help arrived. After what felt like a long time, the sound of sirens reached Tom's ears. Relief filled his chest. The ambulance and police car arrived quickly, and officers rushed over. "Is she awake?" one of the officers asked as they lifted the woman carefully onto a stretcher. Tom nodded. "Just barely. She was hurt bad. I found her here." One of the paramedics smiled at Tom. "You did good. You stayed calm and helped her when she needed it the most." Tom watched as the ambulance drove away with the injured officer. He stood there, feeling a mix of emotions: fear, hope, and a strange pride. He didn't think of himself as a hero. He was just a dad with his dog who happened to be in the right place at the right time. Later that day, Tom called Ben from work. "I met a police officer today," he said softly. "She was hurt, but I helped her. Max helped too. Ben's eyes grew wide. Really? Did she get better? I hope so, Tom said. People are strong when they have help. Just like we are. That night, Tom sat quietly on the porch with Max beside him. He thought about the woman in the park and wondered who she was and what had happened to her. He wished he could do more. Max rested his head on Tom's knee, his eyes warm and trusting. Tom smiled. Life was full of surprises, some good, some scary. But with people who care and a loyal dog, Tom knew they could face anything. Tomorrow, Tom promised himself, he would find out more about the woman in the park. Because sometimes, the smallest moments change everything. The next day, Tom couldn't stop thinking about the injured woman he had found in the park. Who was she? How badly hurt was she? Was she going to be okay? His mind was filled with questions. At the hardware store, Tom tried to focus on his work, but his thoughts kept drifting back to the police officer. When his break came, he stepped outside for some fresh air. Max followed him closely, tail wagging as usual. Tom decided to visit the police station. Maybe he could find out more about the woman. He hoped she was getting the care she needed. The police station was a small building near the town center. Tom felt a little nervous as he walked inside. He was not used to talking with police officers, especially about something so serious. A kind-faced officer behind the desk looked up as Tom approached. "Can I help you?" she asked. Tom took a deep breath. "Yes. Yesterday, I found a woman in uniform in the park. She was hurt. I called for help and waited with her. I just wanted to know if she's okay." The officer's eyes softened. "You're talking about Officer Anna?" Tom nodded. Anna's story came slowly. She was one of the town's newest officers, known for her kindness and bravery. The day before, she had been chasing a suspect in the woods when she tripped and fell hard on a rock. She injured her leg badly and couldn't move. "Thank you for helping her," the officer said sincerely. "If you hadn't found her, things might have been much worse." Tom felt a warm glow inside. He never thought his small action would matter so much. Later, Tom returned home, his heart lighter but still full of concern. He sat at the kitchen table with Ben, telling him about Officer Anna and what had happened. Ben listened carefully. "She's brave, Dad. Like a hero." Tom smiled. "Yes, she is. And you know what? Sometimes heroes come from the most unexpected places." That evening, Tom received a phone call. It was the police station. They wanted to thank him personally for his help and invite him to meet Officer Anna once she was well enough. Tom felt proud and nervous. He wasn't used to attention, but he knew this was important. Days passed, and Anna slowly improved in the hospital. The townspeople heard about Tom's help and praised his kindness. Max even became a little celebrity for protecting Anna until help arrived. One afternoon, Tom visited the hospital. Anna was sitting up in bed, smiling weakly when he walked in. She reached out her hand, and Tom shook it gently. "Thank you," Anna said quietly. "You saved my life." Tom looked at her and saw strength behind her tired eyes. "I'm just glad Max and I were there." Anna laughed softly. "Max is a very good dog. I could tell he was watching over me." Tom felt a connection with Anna, a respect born from a shared experience. They talked about their lives, their challenges, and their hopes. Tom told her about Ben and Max, and Anna spoke about her dream to serve and protect the town. That visit changed something inside Tom. He realized that even in difficult times, kindness and courage could shine through. Before leaving, Anna looked at Tom seriously. "I want to thank you properly. When I'm back on duty, maybe you and Max can visit the station sometimes." Tom smiled. "We'd like that." As Tom walked back home, he thought about the future. He didn't know what challenges lay ahead, but he felt ready. He had a new friend in Anna, a brave woman who had faced danger and lived to tell the story. And Max, ever faithful, trotted happily by his side. Together, they were ready for whatever came next. After Tom's visit to the hospital, things began to change in his quiet life. He found himself thinking about Officer Anna more often, not just about the day he found her in the park, but about the person she was. The strength it took for her to keep going, even when she was hurt. The kindness in her eyes when she thanked him. Tom shared these thoughts with Ben one evening as they sat together in the small living room of their home. Max lay peacefully on the floor, his head resting on Ben's feet. "Dad," Ben said, looking up, "I think Anna is really brave. She helps people all the time, even when it's hard." Tom smiled. "That's right, Ben. She's brave and kind. You know, sometimes being brave isn't about being strong all the time. It's about doing what's right, even when it's scary." Ben nodded thoughtfully. "Like when you helped her in the park." Tom looked at Max, who wagged his tail as if he understood. "Exactly. Sometimes, heroes don't wear capes. Sometimes, they're just regular people helping each other." Days later, the police station called Tom with an invitation. Officer Anna wanted him and Max to visit once she was back at work. Tom felt nervous but excited. It was strange to be recognized by the police, but he was glad to meet Anna again. The day of the visit came quickly. Tom, Ben, and Max walked to the station together. Ben held Max's leash tightly, his eyes wide with curiosity. The building was busier than Tom had expected, with officers coming and going, radios buzzing, and phones ringing. Anna greeted them at the door. She looked better now, still healing but with a bright smile that warmed Tom's heart. "Welcome back," Tom said warmly. Anna laughed softly. "Thank you. I'm glad you and Max came." Inside, Anna introduced Tom and Ben to some of her colleagues. The officers listened as Anna told the story of how Tom and Max had found her in the park. "You two were amazing," said one officer. "Without your quick help, who knows what could have happened." Tom felt shy but proud. He looked at Max, who wagged his tail happily, enjoying the attention. As the day went on, Tom saw how hard the police officers worked. They answered calls, talked with people, and helped solve problems. It was a tough job, but one filled with purpose. Anna invited Tom and Ben to see the training room. She showed Ben the uniforms and badges and even let him try on a police hat. Ben's face lit up with excitement. "Maybe I'll be a police officer one day," Ben said, smiling at his dad. Tom laughed. "Maybe you will." After the visit, Tom walked home feeling a new sense of hope. The town was full of people who cared, who helped each other. Anna's strength inspired him, and the police force's kindness touched his heart. That night, Tom sat by the window, watching the stars. Max lay beside him, quiet and calm. Tom thought about the future, not just his own, but Ben's, and the town's too. He realized that sometimes, the greatest strength came from simple acts of kindness. Like stopping to help a stranger in need. Like standing by someone when they were scared. And sometimes, a dog's loyalty was the greatest gift of all. A week after Tom's visit to the police station, life in the small town was quiet as usual. The days passed with their usual rhythm. Ben went to school, Tom worked at the hardware store, and Max happily trotted alongside his dad during their daily walks. But one afternoon, everything changed. Tom was closing the store when his phone buzzed. It was an unknown number, but something in the message made his heart skip a beat. The message was short: emergency. Need your help. Officer Anna. Tom felt a sudden rush of worry. Without thinking twice, he grabbed Max's leash and hurried out the door. The sun was setting, painting the sky with shades of orange and pink. Tom's mind raced, trying to understand what could have happened. As he walked briskly toward the police station, Max sensed the urgency and pulled slightly on his leash. Tom could feel the dog's energy matching his own. When he arrived, the station was busy. Officers moved quickly, speaking in low, serious voices. Tom spotted Anna near the front desk. She looked tense, her usual bright smile replaced by a look of concern. "Tom," Anna said as soon as she saw him. "Thank you for coming so fast." "What's wrong?" Tom asked, his voice steady but filled with worry. Anna took a deep breath. "There's been a break-in at a nearby home. A family called for help. The suspect is still nearby, and we need extra eyes and ears." Tom looked at Max, who sat quietly, watching the officers closely. "I'm not a police officer," Tom said hesitantly. "But Max and I can help if you want." Anna smiled gratefully. "That's why I called you. Max has a strong sense of smell and can help track. We need all the help we can get." Tom nodded. This was different from the quiet life he knew, but he felt ready. Together, they could make a difference. Anna briefed Tom on the situation. The family's home was on the edge of town, near a wooded area. The suspect was believed to be hiding nearby, and the police wanted to find him quickly, before anyone got hurt. Tom took a deep breath and looked at Max. "Ready, boy?" Max wagged his tail eagerly, as if he understood the importance of the moment. The group moved out together, officers in uniform, Tom and Max leading the way. The night was cool, and the moon shone brightly above them. Tom's heart pounded as they entered the woods. The trees cast long shadows, and every sound seemed louder in the quiet night. Max suddenly stopped and sniffed the air. He pulled gently on the leash, guiding Tom toward a narrow trail. "Good boy, Max," Tom whispered, his voice steady but full of hope. Anna and the officers followed quietly behind. Max's nose was working, and Tom felt proud to have his loyal friend by his side. The trail led them deeper into the woods. Suddenly, Max stopped again and growled softly. Tom held his breath. Ahead, through the trees, they saw a figure moving. The suspect must have heard them. Anna raised her voice. "Police! Stop right there!" The figure froze for a moment, then turned and ran faster into the darkness. "After him!" Anna shouted. The officers started running, but Tom stayed with Max. Max barked and pulled toward the right, where the suspect had disappeared. Tom and Max moved quickly but carefully, trusting Max's instincts. Suddenly, Max stopped again and began digging near a fallen tree. Tom helped, clearing leaves and dirt. Underneath, they found a small bag left behind by the suspect. Inside were stolen items from the family's home. Anna and the officers arrived moments later, impressed by what Tom and Max had found. "Great work," Anna said. "You and Max helped us find the suspect's trail. Now we can catch him." Tom smiled, feeling a mix of relief and pride. He never imagined that a simple dog walk would lead to helping catch a criminal. Later, back at the station, Tom sat with Anna and the officers, sharing a warm cup of coffee. The suspect was caught soon after, thanks to Max's tracking skills and the team's quick work. Anna looked at Tom and said, "You and Max are more than helpers. You're part of the team now." Tom felt a new sense of belonging. For the first time in a long time, he felt connected not just as a single dad, but as someone who could make a real difference. Ben was waiting for him at home, and when Tom told him the story, his son's eyes sparkled. "Dad, you're like a hero," Ben said proudly. Tom laughed softly. "No, Ben. Sometimes, heroes come in many forms: a brave police officer, a loyal dog, and a dad who loves his son." That night, as Tom sat on the porch with Max lying at his feet, he thought about the unexpected journey he had started. Life might be full of surprises, but with courage and kindness, they could face whatever came their way. And with Max by his side, Tom knew they were ready for anything. The weeks after the break-in passed quietly. Tom, Ben, and Max settled back into their usual routine, but Tom could feel something different in the air. His days felt fuller, his heart a little lighter. The visit to the police station, the night in the woods, it all made him see life in a new way. One late afternoon, Tom was at home fixing a broken chair in the living room. Ben was doing his homework at the kitchen table, and Max lay napping near the window, soaking in the warm sunlight. Suddenly, there was a soft knock on the front door. Tom wiped his hands on his shirt and went to open it. Standing outside was a woman in a police uniform, not Anna, but another officer Tom had not met before. "Hello," the officer said kindly. "I'm Officer Mia. I just wanted to stop by and thank you personally for everything you and Max have done for us." Tom smiled, surprised but happy. "Thank you, Officer Mia. We're just glad to help." Mia stepped inside and sat down in the living room. "Your help has made a big difference. Max's tracking helped us catch the suspect quickly, and your calmness during the emergency showed true courage." Tom looked at Max, who lifted his head and wagged his tail proudly. "It's clear that Max is not just a dog, he's a partner," Mia continued. "And you're a good man, Tom. Your kindness and bravery have helped many in this town." Tom felt a warm glow inside. He never saw himself as special. He was just a father doing his best. Mia smiled and added, "We'd like to invite you and Ben to a special event we're holding at the police station next week. It's a community day to thank people who help keep our town safe." Tom nodded. "We'd be happy to come." After Officer Mia left, Tom closed the door and looked at Ben. "You hear that? We're invited to a special day." Ben's eyes lit up. "Really? That sounds fun. Can Max come too?" Tom laughed. "Of course, Max is the star." That night, Tom told Ben about the event. Ben was excited and asked many questions about the police, the work they do, and what he might see at the community day. The day of the event arrived quickly. Tom, Ben, and Max walked to the station, their steps full of anticipation. The police station was decorated with colorful banners, and families from all over town gathered in the courtyard. Officers greeted visitors warmly, sharing stories and answering questions. There were demonstrations of police dogs, safety lessons, and even a small obstacle course for kids. Tom watched as Ben's face lit up with wonder. Max was also excited, his tail wagging as he met other dogs and their owners. Officer Anna was there too, looking stronger and healthier. When she saw Tom and Ben, she waved and came over. "Thanks for coming," she said with a smile. It means a lot. They spent the afternoon talking and laughing. Tom felt a deep sense of connection with the people around him, neighbors, officers, and families. Later, Anna invited Tom and Ben to watch a demonstration with police dogs. Max sat quietly beside Tom, watching the other dogs perform commands and find hidden objects. Max is amazing, Anna said softly. I can see why you're such a good team. Tom nodded. He's more than a dog. He's family. As the sun began to set, the crowd gathered for a small ceremony. The chief of police stood on a small stage and spoke about the importance of community and teamwork. He called Tom and Max to the front and thanked them publicly for their help during the break-in. Tom felt a rush of emotions: pride, gratitude, and a little embarrassment. But mostly, he felt thankful. After the ceremony, neighbors came forward to shake Tom's hand and pet Max. Ben stood by his father's side, beaming with pride. Walking home that evening, Tom thought about how much life had changed in just a few weeks. From a quiet single dad to someone who made a difference, he had grown in ways he never expected. Max walked happily beside him, as if sharing in the joy. Tom looked up at the stars and whispered, "Thank you, Max, for being my friend, my helper, and my hero." Max barked softly, and Tom knew that no matter what happened next, they would face it together. After the community event, life seemed brighter for Tom and his small family. The town had come together in a way Tom had never seen before. Neighbors greeted him with warm smiles, and people stopped to ask how Anna was doing. The kindness of others made Tom feel less alone. One Saturday morning, Tom took Ben and Max to the park for their usual walk. The air was fresh and cool, with sunlight filtering softly through the trees. The park was quieter than usual, and the gentle rustling of leaves filled the air. As they walked along the path, Ben noticed a small group of children gathered near the playground. One of the boys was crying softly, and the others looked worried. Ben tugged at Tom's sleeve. "Dad, what's wrong with that boy?" Tom looked over and saw a boy about Ben's age, sitting on a bench with a scraped knee. A few kids were trying to comfort him, but he seemed scared and alone. Tom knelt down beside Ben and whispered, "Let's go see if we can help." They approached the group gently. Tom smiled at the boy and asked, "Hey there, what happened?" The boy looked up, tears still in his eyes. "I fell off the swing and hurt my knee. It hurts a lot." Tom nodded. "That sounds painful. Do you want me to take a look?" The boy hesitated but then nodded. Tom carefully checked the scrape. It was red and a little swollen but not serious. He reached into his bag and pulled out a small first aid kit he always carried for Ben and Max. "Here, let me clean this for you," Tom said kindly. As he cleaned the wound with a wet cloth, Tom talked softly to the boy, telling him stories about times when he had been scared but found courage to keep going. Max sat nearby, quietly watching the scene, his presence calm and reassuring. When the scrape was cleaned and covered with a bandage, the boy smiled a little. "Thank you," he said shyly. Tom smiled back. "You're welcome. Remember, it's okay to be scared sometimes. Being brave means you don't give up, even when things are hard." Ben looked up at his dad, admiration shining in his eyes. "Dad, you're really brave." Tom chuckled softly. "We all have courage inside us, Ben. Sometimes, it just takes a little help to see it." The other children smiled and thanked Tom. The boy stood up, feeling stronger, and joined his friends on the playground. As they walked away, Ben turned to Tom. "I want to be brave like you and Anna." Tom smiled and ruffled Ben's hair. "You already are, Ben. And you will be even more as you grow." That afternoon, Tom thought about the many ways people show courage. Sometimes it was rushing into danger like Anna. Sometimes it was standing up for someone who needed help, like the boy in the park. Tom realized that being brave wasn't about being fearless. It was about facing your fears with kindness and hope. Later that evening, Tom sat on the porch with Max beside him, feeling peaceful. The world could be a scary place, but it was also full of goodness. And with courage, kindness, and a loyal friend like Max, Tom knew they could face anything. The town's quiet streets had changed for Tom. What once felt like a small, lonely place was now filled with hope and friendship. His life as a single dad had taken on new meaning, thanks to a chance meeting with Officer Anna and the faithful dog, Max. One bright morning, Tom woke early, feeling a strange mix of excitement and calm. Today was a special day, not just because it was the first day of spring, but because Anna was returning to work after her injury. Ben bounced into the kitchen, rubbing sleep from his eyes. "Dad, do you think Anna will be okay today?" Tom smiled, pouring cereal into their bowls. "I think she'll be great. She's been working hard to get better." After breakfast, Tom, Ben, and Max walked to the police station together. The streets were alive with the sounds of birds and children playing. Max's tail wagged happily as he led the way. At the station, a small group had gathered to welcome Anna back. Officers, neighbors, and friends stood together, clapping and smiling when she appeared. Anna looked radiant, her uniform fitting her like a second skin. Though she still walked carefully, her eyes shone with determination. Tom stepped forward and shook her hand. "Welcome back, Anna. We missed you." Anna's smile was warm. "Thank you, Tom. I couldn't have done it without you and Max." Ben stood proudly beside his dad, watching Anna with admiration. The chief of police stepped up to speak. "Anna's return reminds us all of the power of courage and community. Thanks to her bravery and the help of people like Tom and Max, our town is safer and stronger." As the crowd cheered, Tom felt a deep sense of pride. He never imagined that helping a stranger would lead to such an important bond. Later, Anna invited Tom and Ben to the training room. "I want you both to see where we prepare every day to protect the town," she said. Inside, they watched officers practice drills and learned about the teamwork that kept everyone safe. Tom looked at Ben, whose eyes were wide with wonder. "Maybe someday, you'll wear a uniform too," Tom said gently. Ben smiled shyly. "Maybe." As the day ended, Tom walked home with Ben and Max. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the town. Tom thought about how much had changed. From the day he found Anna hurt in the park, his life had been full of new friends, challenges, and hope. He looked down at Max, who trotted happily beside him. "We did good, didn't we, boy?" Max barked softly, as if to say, "Yes, we did." That night, Tom sat on the porch, watching the stars twinkle above. He thought about the future not just for himself and Ben, but for the whole town. Life would have ups and downs, but with kindness, courage, and friends to lean on, anything was possible. Tom whispered to the night, "Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Max. And thank you, Ben. We're a team now." Max curled up at his feet, and Tom smiled, ready for whatever tomorrow might bring. Because sometimes, the greatest stories begin with a single act of kindness and a dog's loyal heart.